Hey guys, what is up? It is me, Pagey, here once again with another video on The Flash Season 6, and this is going to be my trailer breakdown for episode 17 for this season, otherwise entitled Liberation. But of course, let's watch the trailer, then we'll talk about it.
Something happened to Iris.
Barry, how could you do this? For God's sake, I'm your wife.
You're not my wife. The real Iris is out there somewhere. I won't let her down.
Fine. You want to see who I really am? I'll show you.
The Flash, new episode next Tuesday at 8/7 Central, only on the CW.
So it's actually crazy to think that this is the third last episode of the season. We've come back from this massive break and we only had 4 episodes to watch. So if you didn't know, episode 19 for this season, which will air on May 12th, I think it is, that's the finale for this season because of what's happening around the world. They're not going back to film the last handful of episodes, so that's the finale. Apparently it deals with it fairly well. It's an okay cliffhanger, even though they had episodes to go. But yeah, so this is the third last episode, and I think I know how this season's probably going to end, and that's why they've chosen to end where they are. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how they lead up to that point. But this trailer in general just looks fairly interesting as well, and it's just a lot of lead up is now playing out. The last episode we of course saw pretty much, it was a very Joe focused episode. Barry was in there a lot obviously because the show's called The Flash, but it was a heavy Joe episode because now he's in witness protection and he won't be in X amount of episodes to come. I don't know if he's gone for the entire season now, or if he's just gone, well, he might be, because they might have originally planned for him to come back in episode 20 or something, and that's not happening anymore. So Joe might be gone for the rest of the season, or maybe he appears in episode 19. We'll have to wait and see. But obviously, big Joe episode, Ragdoll was there, it was very cool. But obviously, one of the big things that happens in the episode is right at the end. Also, I guess it revealed that Captain Singh was a mirror clone. But the big thing at the end of the episode is that Iris or Mirror Iris pretty much drops that diss track on Barry and just makes Barry super suspicious of her. And I don't think it was that smart of a move. I guess Barry was getting angry for his speed and stuff like that, or it was going red, if you want to call it. But I don't know if it was that smart of a move. I don't know, I have to wait and see how it plays out in this episode. Because maybe it was, and we're just not getting a lot from the trailer or the end of last episode. But of course, we will quickly go over the synopsis or description. It gives us a bit more context in regards to what's going on. But of course, throughout the video, be sure to let me know your various thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. What you're looking forward to most in this episode. Any thoughts, theories, major opinions heading into it. Let me know all of that in the comments. And of course, if you're going to enjoy the video and you're looking forward to this episode, why not drop a like on the video to show your support and excitement. After recent events, Barry takes a closer look at his life with Iris. Eva makes a bold move. So obviously that's a short synopsis, but that's just because they didn't want to spoil stuff, I guess, because if this synopsis was just revealed, I guess, after, last episode, it'd have more in it. But they had to keep it vague to avoid spoilers. But we start off this trailer for episode 17 with Barry, or, Barry Allen, telling someone it's probably Team Flash, but it could just be an individual, and that individual person, we'll talk about later in the trailer. But it's someone or a group, most likely Team Flash, that something has happened to Iris. But obviously, going off the end of the end scene from the last episode, Barry would have to be the most, naive person on Earth Prime to just think that Iris was being moody or something. They've actually set it up well previously, where it actually makes sense why Barry wouldn't have figured it out, but then it just all pretty much fell off a cliff in the past episode or two. So at this point, it'd just be so naive of Barry if he didn't realize that this wasn't his wife, especially in the past when they've made it clear that there is some sort of I don't want to call it spiritual, but some sort of connection that transcends where they're just looking at a person and stuff like that, like we saw in Elseworlds, how Iris knew, even though Barry and Oliver had swapped bodies and stuff and just lives in general, that Oliver at that point was actually her Barry. So they've gone about that, so it's weird that they would try and step back from it too much, if that makes sense. But at least they didn't drag it on too much to the point where Barry just seemed super, super naive. Now, it will be interesting to see whether this is at the beginning of the episode where he tells someone or Team Flash this, or whether he does some investigation by himself before bringing others and telling others what is going on. I just say this is... I don't know. I'd say if they do some investigation with Barry doing it by himself early on, I can only see it happen for maybe 5 minutes, and then he'll bring someone else in, because I don't think they'd waste too much time. I don't think Iris being exposed is going to be the end of the episode. I think that's going to be a bit earlier on so other stuff can play out. But this is then when we see Barry with Cecile, Nash, and Mirror Iris in the Cortex. I can't remember if you see anyone else in that trailer, in that area. But it seems that Barry has just dropped his response to Iris's diss track from the end of last episode. And oh man, your boy Barry Allen has some bars, because Mirror Iris has no response to this at all. We do even see Nash holding up his gauntlet quickly. I think in the trailer he's lowering it, but in the actual episode he'll probably point it at her like a laser, like Buzz Lightyear or something, and it has some sort of, well, like Buzz Lightyear, it has like a red sort of light on it. So you would think it's reading whether Iris is, well, actually Iris or not, whether it's actually, is she a human, is she got like some guts in her, or is she actually, maybe it's like a DNA thing, like actually scanning DNA, because different Earth, different technology and stuff. But the next shot in the trailer is pretty damn cool, and I'm super intrigued and interested to see if anything new is revealed here, and that is when we see the proper Iris in the mirror world going into this room, which possibly appears to have been behind another mirror or something like that. You see this boot having to step over to get into it, so it isn't a normal doorway here, so it appears it's just a mirror someone's going through here, but it might not be normal Iris. It could be someone else in that shot with the boot, which we will come back to later in the trailer. Anyway, I think we can take a solid guess of two possible options as to what is going on here, with the first being that this is like a control room of sorts for Eva, where she can see exactly what is going on with Mirror Iris on like a day-to-day or hour-to-hour basis, and maybe even store what Mirror Iris does and everything, like through her eyes and stuff like that. Or maybe even from just looking through various mirrors and stuff like that. Or another option could be that because Iris is brought, or was brought, into the mirror world, it maybe holds Iris's memories and like what the mirror version uses as their memories and stuff like that. I would say it's probably the first option more than the other. Just sounds more simple, the first option, and more likely. But I think this scene could be a pretty cool one to see go down regardless, because yeah, it's going to be a big expose episode, this episode in general. But later in the trailer, we do see Iris sort of like freaking out, and this could be her like mind maybe like merging, or at least maybe, like possibly downloading, if you want to call it, all the information from the mirror version of Iris, because it's in that same room that we just saw her in. So maybe she has been, she just gets all that stuff that Iris, this like mirror Iris, has been doing in the real world, some of which might be seen on those mirror screen things, which actually look fairly cool, and some stuff isn't. So maybe she gets some big reveals just through her head, and that's why she's freaking out. I have to wait and find out, I guess. Now, the next part in the trailer should be an interesting one as well. Now, that's when we see Barry with Cecile, and it was said, and I think an interview with Grant Gustin himself, that it is Cecile he goes to in regards to all of this. Now, is this because Joe isn't there, and Cecile over the past few seasons really does shine when she fills in those Joe roles? Like, Joe isn't in the episode, but she is, and she does like Joe stuff in the episode. Or is this because of her meta powers? It could be a bit of both, and it wouldn't surprise me if Cecile gets a reading on Mirror Iris at some point and goes, hey, that's not right, something's weird there. But behind them at one point is a board, almost exactly like we had in the mid-season premiere, I think it was, which had the timeline of Earth Prime written out all over it. But this time we have some stuff to do with Iris and what she's been up to recently, or should I say Mirror Iris. And I guess when you piece all of this together, it does paint a fairly suspicious picture of someone, because Mirror Iris has been fairly sneaky and shifty. Now on the board we can see sneaking out at night, as well as how often, with a question mark I think, and then only at McCulloch, and then you don't see the rest, which obviously means McCulloch Technologies. Now this would be happening probably in the middle range area of the episode, I guess, maybe like the beginning of the second third, but I do wonder how long it will take before they approach Mirror Iris and drop this huge information bomb on her. I personally don't think it will take too long, as I think they will want Mirror Iris to be exposed in the episode, which then leads Eva to making her move once Mirror Iris pretty much becomes a loose end for her. But we do then have Mirror Iris coming clean in the trailer, by voice at least, saying she is going to show them who she really is, and this is when we see that photo that Camilla took and saw before she was shot by the mirror gun and became like a tool for Eva to use. And then we see Barry almost being harassed by mirrors in his apartment. That's a bit weird. So he gets back into his loft, which is good for him, but it appears it might be a bit weird and creepy once he gets in there. Now, one question for this episode, I wonder if it will happen or if it happens later, is whether Barry actually goes into the mirror world to bring out normal Iris, because Iris brought that up last episode, like we need someone that can destabilize themselves to come in and maybe rescue. So I'm guessing that will happen. I guess whether it happens this episode or another one is for us to wait and find out. They could do it this episode, maybe that might be too much going on if they have some stuff with Eva as well, so maybe 18 or the finale, like 19. I'm not too sure when they'll do it, but I think that's probably what's going to happen. Barry's going to go in and save Iris and Camilla, I guess. And I guess Sting as well. There's too many people in there now. Now, as I said before, we had that boot, which I thought might have been Iris going to that room. There is a possibility that that's actually Eva stepping out of the mirror world back into her office in the real world through the mirror that Iris got dragged into and stuff. Now, I say this because the episode title of Liberation, which pretty much means freedom, suggests that this is the episode that Eva gets out into the real world, and that is the, I guess, the quote-unquote bold move that is detailed in the synopsis in regards to Eva. So, I don't know if that's just going to be the cliffhanger, like she walks out and goes, I'm out. And actually, that'd be a terrible ending, mainly because my voice just decided to have a bit of a testy pop. But if she just goes, I'm out, that would be terrible. I wouldn't mind her coming out and doing something really cool if that is her coming out, but we'll have to wait and see what happens there. But I wouldn't be surprised if that's actually Eva stepping out of the mirror world into the real world, and Havoc's going to start. Now, due to the shortening of the season down to 19 episodes, which is the episode they last completely finished, I guess the big question is, like, what could their season end with? Now, it wouldn't surprise me if it ends with Eva killing Joseph Carver as the cliffhanger or something towards the end and, like, gaining full control of Black Hole. Grant Gustin said the ending for episode 19 is not the ideal ending to a season, but it's decent enough. Of course, they would have preferred to have the proper ending and the proper cliffhanger, but it's decent enough. So I could see that happening, especially because episode 19 is called Success is Assured, which is something that Eva had said before. So it's another Eva or Mirror Master focused episode, and it wouldn't surprise me if she, succeeds with her plan, or at least a major part of it, which could be ridding Joseph Carver, or maybe even teaming up with him. Who knows what's going to happen there? Could be a bit of a twist. Maybe they're working together. But I personally don't think Carver can be the big bad, because they haven't had Carver there enough in this back half to push him into the big bad area. But Eva has, and we have seen her use Iris and Camilla while befriending Iris in the process as well. She fits in there more, and I'm actually happy with that. Earlier on, I wasn't really like, oh, really going to use Mirror Master, but with how the seasons progressed and everything like that, and even how like Black Hole's playing into it, I think I'd be fine with that. I think I'd be fine with that. And even if they played with it in the opening, whether it's the opening half of next season or the opening handful of episodes, I think I'm fine with that. Is it perfect? No, but I'm fine with it. I'm content with it, and I'd be happy to see it play out. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, it'd be awesome if you could drop a like on it, show support. Let me know your various opinions in the comment section down below. You're looking forward to this episode? Anything of major, I was going to say superiority, but that's not the correct word. Major focus, I guess you could say, that you're looking forward to in this episode. Let me know all of that in the comment section down below. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Goodbye.